Viewer discretion is advised.
Alright, Peep game, y'all. You guys showed up and showed out with my previous video on Pickle and gave it a lot of love, so you know we had to run it back for part 2 of the new season that just released. In part 1, we witnessed the terror this man Pickle brought to the streets, from eating my man's leg like it's a drumstick from Popeye's chicken to what has to be the hardest tongue kiss I've ever seen in my life. This man Pickle was a dog without a doubt. But this time, we're switching it up. Part 2 is gonna show us the fight we've all been waiting for and hyping up since the first season. And it's with the Dooney demon himself, Yujito. So let's not waste any time. Of course, you guys go ahead and do me a favor and hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Sit back, grab your shawty, grab your snacks, cause we're about to go in on this one. Now, I don't think some of you guys actually realize how much of a demon Yujito really is. I mean, just about everyone in the world fears this man, and he even has entire countries scared to go against him. Now, we seen back in part 1 how he had everybody so shook that it forced the United States to sign a peace treaty with him just so they won't go to war and possibly lose. And he even had Obama. That's right, you heard me loud and clear. Obeezy had Yujito pull up to the White House and sign a pact because not even the US government, one of the world's greatest superpowers, wanted any smoke. I mean, this man Yujito is on another level. He even unlocked the see-through world like he's a Hashira from Demon Slayer. Now, I ain't gonna spoil y'all on how that works in case I got some Demon Slayer fans watching this video, but just know if it's one-on-one with Yujito versus all the upper moon ranked demons, Yujito clears. Even playing something as simple and innocent as rock, paper, scissors is like a game of life or death when coming into contact with this man. But let me stop gassing him. If you're still having any doubts, well, come here, my son. Sit, and let me show you how much of a demon Yujito really is. So after training day in and day out fighting roaches in the gulag, the time has finally come. Baki officially went from being a boy to being a man. My man has been gearing up for this fight against Yujito ever since he was a young lad trying to win the love of his mother. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, his mom was a bitch. I mean, she was cold as hell, so it's no wonder she fell in love with Yujito in the first place. She made Baki, this child, endure some of the toughest training in the world just so he could fight against Yujito, who is a grown ass man. It's like putting David to fight against Goliath, but Goliath is the one tapping that ass. I mean, come on, bruh. It's not even fair at that point. Why put your son up against this monster? This man is the living, breathing version of him. And I'm talking about him from the Powerpuff Girls. You know, the one who did this. Yeah, that him. If him and Muzan had a baby, his name would be Yujito. And he spares the rod with nobody, not even his own son. Now, Mama Hammer eventually does come around to fight for her child after he got his ass knocked out, so I will give her a little credit for that. But still, she's vile for that. But through everything, Baki still had mad love for her and at one point even fought to avenge her death. But now, he's fighting for something totally different. So Baki pulls up to the Ritz-Carlton in the middle of downtown looking like he's pulling up to order a number 3 at McDonald's. I mean, really, bruh? You didn't know you were pulling up to one of the fanciest restaurants in Japan? That joint has a window on the top floor that's the size of my house. Shit, you could probably see that house from that mug if you look hard enough. And look at the food prices. 6,400 yen for some shit I can't even pronounce? You might as well double back to McDonald's, my boy. Yo, let me get a motherfucking McChicken with a small fry and a Sprite. And you already know the McDonald's Sprite hits different. Now, Yujito pulls up in a Versace suit wearing sweatpants, but it's Dior, so he gets a pass. And him and Baki are indulging in some of the finest cuisine I done damn near ever seen. These got ratatouille in the back, chefing it up from lobster to creme brulee. And before desserts, Baki asks Yujito why he sent his mama to heaven, which set this man off and causes him to start charging his berserk mode, and he's like,
"Look, nigga, just because we're sitting at the same table together doesn't mean you can start asking questions about grown folks' business."
Pops, if you haven't noticed, I'm a grown-ass man now. I get paper, I sauce bitches, and I run this town like my name Jay-Z or something. Wait, don't tell me you too pussy to answer the question. Here you are, sir, your tea and oh, great heavens.
How dare you put your filthy, greasy hands on me, twerp.
Now look, we can either do this the easy way or we can do this the hard way. The choice is yours. Oh, who does this man Baki think he is? Fleece Johnson? He got hands on with Yujito and got him popping his collar like he's a part of 3-6 Mafia and causes Yujito to turn into Aaron and begin the rumbling. This man Yujito has the whole building shaking like it's about to collapse at any moment, but the goats are the only ones who aren't moving at all.
Beyblade, let her rip! Now I know you're a snot-nosed brat who loves to get ahead of himself, but I didn't think you'd be foolish enough to put your hands on me. Gaki domo.
I know it'll take more than that to have any effect on you. You're the one and only demon, remember? But to be honest, Pops, I think it's all cap.
Oh really? And I hear you've been wanting to run the fade with me.
What, you scared?
Nah, this is perfect. Maggot, attention!
My boy was not ready for that shit at all. Yujito gave this man a spanking and sent him flying out the 88th floor and holding on for dear life. And here I thought my spankings as a kid were bad. They were nothing compared to this.
Come here. No one has ever disciplined you properly as a child. And now I understand you need your ass whooped. This is the discipline you need. Sorry for interrupting your meal, everyone. As you can see, I'm just giving my son here some tough love.
But Baki isn't taking that shit laying down. He jumps back up to try to get a quick jab off, but ends up getting his face smushed only for Yujito to pick this man up and pin him against the window. And then when you thought he wouldn't do it, he actually does it. He applied enough pressure until that bitch burst and him and Baki jumped out the window like they're auditioning for a stunt double in a new Tom Cruise movie. And he says,
"Prepare for landing,"
before he puts the new 4Gs on the Jeep and causes both of them to crash into the brand new 2023 Mercedes AMG Scat Pack. Bruh, I was still making payments on that shit. Somehow, the both of them survive and come out without a single scratch because it's anime, so why not? And Yujito tosses Baki to the side like he's a ragdoll before he says,
"Alright, enough of the goofing around. You wanted to run this fade, right? Well, get your ass up. I know that wasn't enough to kill you."
I can't move, Pops. Mind helping me up? Alright, wait. Pause it right there. Did y'all see the accuracy in that slap just now? This man used all his leverage to gain enough momentum to create a 180-degree obtuse angle that generated enough force and velocity to create what only science would describe as
the bitch slap.
Call me Professor Ritxhie. I went to school for this shit. But even with the slap that can knock out a caveman from 160 million BC, Yujito was not fazed in the slightest. In fact, it only pissed him off and caused him to pull a Meliodas and send Baki flying through another window like that one Simpsons meme. Then, the NPCs tried to step in and intervene, but they thought twice after seeing the devil himself walking up to approach them. I swear, these windows gotta be made out of sugar glass the way that these guys are just bursting in and out of them. And when Yujito approaches Baki, he uses one of the ultimate techniques which was passed down from generation to generation, to which we all have experienced at least once in our lives. The granny pinch. Bruh, this used to sting like crazy when I was a kid back when granny used to pinch me for saying a bad word like nigga. So imagine getting that pinch from Yujito. Bruh. Your face might just rip off the bone like he did homie back in season 1.
It's gonna be a long night.
Time to take off the gloves. This is the fight we've all been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. Father versus son. Good versus evil. The underdog versus the Undertaker. I don't know about y'all, but I got my money on Yujito, no cap. And he kicks things off by literally kicking Baki into an escalator and sending him up to the next floor. This sets the stage for the exchange of the traditional martial art technique passed down from the great halls of high school, slap boxing. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a tough stomach, I advise you to skip through this part of the video, because shit is about to pop off. Yujito's the first to land a blow and leaves a mark on Baki's back the size of a crater. Ooh, my boy, I know that shit's got a sting. But Yujito's not done. He shows us why he's a professional slap boxer and delivers a critical blow straight to Baki's thigh. I know that's gonna leave a mark. Enough to make this man jump through another window? What's with these in windows today? So Baki had to return the favor and dish out a slap that could be heard all throughout Tokyo. And just when you thought my mans felt the pain of that gut-wrenching slap, well, this man flexed every single muscle fiber in his body down to the tissue to reduce the pain of the slap. I didn't even know that was possible.
Oi, come on, little nigga. I'm tired of you holding back. Come and show your old man you actually have that dog in you.
Is he dead ass? Yeah, this whole time I haven't been taking him seriously. What's the point of fighting if I can't go all out? He is the demon after all. And Baki is finally about to start getting serious and he begins to melt like his nickname Slime and rushes in to hit Yujito with a roach tackle. But wait, he's not done. He pushes Yujito through yet another window and doubles back to give him a leaf hurricane and send him flying into the bathroom, causing him to crash straight into the latrine. And with piss flying everywhere, Baki rushes in to try and deliver another roach tackle, but this time, it won't work. Yujito applies a reverse bear hug and Triple H slams Baki straight through the side of the building. And to both of their surprise, the entire city of Tokyo showed up to witness the dogfight that was taking place. That's right, everyone and their grandma tuned in to watch this going down live. But Yujito's not amused. He comes down to try and convince Baki to hold off on the fight, but Baki wasn't having it and he blitzes Yujito with a quick 3-piece and hold the biscuit. But it was like trying to punch a wall made out of vibranium. But wait, his attacks actually connected and were able to make the Dooney Demon gain a scratch on his lip and cause him to bleed. This is the first time in a long time we've actually seen this man take some form of damage. Baki staying on the offensive goes in for another tackle, but that shit gets stamped null and void and Yujito comes in with the reverse fly swatter and turns Baki into the die lit cover. And before Baki comes up to try and counter, Yujito says, "Sit your ass down," and has this man counting stars. Throw in the towel, my boy. This man got you barely able to stand and gushing Kool-Aid. And he didn't even throw a real punch yet. But Baki's a fighter. He's got that dog in his blood, so he can't help but to get back up. He tries to rush Yujito with a volley of attacks, but this man activates Sharingan and blocks every single one of them effortlessly. Huh? Above? It seems like he's here watching. Well, in that case, let me give him a show. And Baki assumes the same stance he used in his fight against Pickle, the one and only back shot position. And speaking of Pickle, he's there watching the havoc take place on top of the building while Baki turns Tokyo into Jurassic Park and charges in to attack like he's king of the jungle. He's cracked, I'm pushing, and he slams Yujito into somebody's Subaru hatchback and levels the battlefield. Looks like someone's missing soccer practice tomorrow.
That was impressive, little nigga, but there's a form even more deadlier than that one.
What form is that?
Baka. I'm just making this shit up as I go along.
Okay. And Yujito flexes so hard that he obtains Ultra Instinct and causes everyone to hear the theme song before unlocking the strongest form of all, the Pat Back. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is Yujito's ultimate form. This form grants Yujito the power and speed that's able to rival your favorite shonen protagonist. And rumor has it, this form has been recorded in ancient history and is said to be named after the starfish who lives in a rock under the sea. But Baki isn't impressed with the fairy tales. In a half-second delay, Baki chin checks Yujito and sends the ogre to kiss pavement, but at the last second he was able to catch himself like I do when the bitches say I'm tripping.
I gotta say, I'm actually impressed, son. No one has ever been able to knock me down, so I can only be glad that you're the first. Come here, let me give you a pat on the head.
Get the hell out of here.
Don't be shy, it's only a little pat on the head. I just want to say I'm sorry for not bringing back the milk.
And something in his chest caused him to feel a way he's never felt before. A wave of emotions drowns Baki in sadness as he yearns for the gentle touch of his father, something he hasn't gotten in over 18 years. But he remembers he ain't no bitch and tells Yujito to kick rocks, but Yujito isn't taking no for an answer and says,
"Where my hug at?"
before hugging Baki with a gorilla grip and causing him to squirm like a kid throwing a temper tantrum. And Baki tries to kick him in retaliation, but Yujito causes him to hit himself in the head and giving him a nosebleed. And Yujito takes some of that blood and he licks it like a lollipop. Yo, this man is disgusting. Son or not, I don't care. Licking another man's blood is like licking his nut.
Hey, yo!
Got my mans pulling a Michael Jackson before punishing him with a roundhouse kick straight to the gut and sending him flying back 100 yards. And before he can land the final blow, Pickle joins the chat like, "What's good? Damn!" And in a split second, Baki knocks out one of Pickle's choppers and has him looking like Timmy after he got his tooth knocked out at the Zappy Awards. That's just Baki's way of telling Pickle to stay out of this. And Pickle, being a man of honor, decides to sit back on the sidelines and see how things unfold while Yujito and Baki square up face to face for the one-on-one, and Yujito's like,
"When my fingers touch zero, I'm rolling you into a blunt."
but Baki couldn't tell if he was serious or not. Now, any normal person would have ran out of there with no hesitation, but Baki wanted to see if it was all cap. So to prove it, Yujito hits him with the softest punch I've ever seen in my life and says, and booms Baki right in the kisser. But he was able to counter and put my mans in an MMA lockdown. Not bad, kid. But did you forget you're fighting a demon? The Hulk breaks through the asphalt to escape Baki's clutches and leaves him gushing again, but this time, it ain't blood.
You need to tighten up, boy. First crying, now pissing yourself? I don't remember raising no bitch.
I don't remember you raising me at all. Pissy whip.
Rolling kick. Time to finish this. Pat back secret technique. Happy birthday!
Damn, there goes another minivan. But the ogre's not done. One punch after the other, Yujito's not done firing off the sledgehammer and knocking the piss out of Baki. Literally. But somehow Baki is able to get back up, and before he throws in the towel, the progenitor of Black Air Force energy appears and leaves Yujito shocked. He's the man who gave birth to the demon we know today. The one who lived before the era of Black Forces when there were only all black Reeboks. That's right, folks. The legendary Yujito Hanma has entered the chat. Seeing the face of his father reminds Yujito why he's called the ogre, and he decides to take a step back and use a technique straight out of his father's book. And this technique, ladies and gentlemen, has to be probably the deadliest technique in the show so far. He picks up Baki by the leg and starts to go Bruce Lee, turning this man into a pair of nunchucks and causes him to see a whole lot of red like we're still waiting on Cardi to drop. And he ain't missing a single beat. He's swinging Baki around effortlessly like he's nothing more than a tissue, and he has this man leaking out of every hole in his body. And just when you thought it wouldn't get any worse, well, remember that card I got trashed not too long ago? Yeah, Yujito slams that up against that John like he's practicing for the next World Martial Arts tournament. And he doesn't just do it once, no. He does it again and again and again until that card turns into nothing more than scrap metal. Now, after all that, you must be thinking, there's no way this man survived that. But you must be forgetting, this is anime, my boy. Baki's able to bounce back, and not only that, this man made a mini scrap doll out of the pieces of metal that went flying after being slammed against the car. We might as well change this man's Baki name to Chad. And after taking in the onslaught of attacks deadly enough to kill a normal man, Baki gains a Zenkai boost and unlocks Ultra Ego before hitting Yujito with a full counter and a happy birthday. My man's Baki finally got the power up he needed to stand on even grounds with the demon himself. He even lands a vicious meat check and taunts Yujito to try and counter, which made him fall for the bait and clobbers him with the Hell Winky. But he's not done. He comes up high and strikes down low with a Hell Sweeper. And from this point on, Baki is on straight demon time. But Yujito's not out of the fight just yet. It'll take more than that to take down the ogre. Father and son, Ultra Instinct versus Ultra Ego. Who will be the one to take home the W? I know I got some Dragon Ball fans, so if you're still watching, let me know by commenting down below Ultra Instinct or Ultra Ego. But let's finish out the fight. Yujito and Baki are going toe-to-toe in an all-out melee before Baki catches Yujito in a Chinese finger trap and pulls a slick reversal to come in for the punish, but Yujito ain't falling for it. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is peak boxing and Baki. A full-octane, no-holds-bar, outright display of straight hands. This is what we've been waiting to see, and at this point, the studio had to up the budget to deliver some of the cleanest animation I done damn near seen throughout the show. Then Baki comes up to put Yujito into a headlock, but he just takes it and gives this man Baki a piggyback ride instead. That's what I call father-son bonding right there. But that was short-lived, and now it's time to finish it. Baki goes in to slam Yujito and give him a two-piece with the Popeyes biscuit, but that shit did 0 damage, and the ogre uses his signature finishing move, the pimp slap. This is the same slap that sent his mama to heaven and folded the old nigga from season 1. And here, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the conclusion of the fight, which can only be described as a slugfest. From here, we're taking it back to the basics. Straight hands, no kicks, no gimmicks, no stepping out of the paint. The two GOATs are going blow for blow without even a single step being taken back. There's nothing standing in between these two beasts fighting for the title of victor. And somehow amongst the carnage, Yujito opens himself up completely to take every single punch Baki is throwing out. But all that is met with an ogre hug that crushes this man's ribcage the same way it did his mother over 5 years ago. And with the power of the see-through world, Yujito is able to see just how f***ed up Baki really is from every muscle and bone in his body. But Baki isn't cracking. He summons up his inner spirit to fight Yujito, who stands there without moving a single muscle, and instead decides to do something the entire crowd never thought they'd see. He pulls out the tofu and gets his Gordon Ramsay going and starts chefing up a 5-star meal. I never thought I'd see the day Yujito would actually cook for his son.
It's miso soup. Try it.
Yeah, it tastes like ass. Who let bro cook? Yo, this little nigga is mad disrespectful. He made the world's strongest man stand in the kitchen and chef it up only to throw that shit away like it's a meal at Arby's. And with that act of pure savagery, Yujito not only officially declares Baki the strongest, but he also has the new generation's name written in stone next to the 10 Commandments. Whew. This fight is what we've all been waiting for ever since season 1, and I'm so glad to be able to live to actually see it. Baki was definitely the MVP in this fight, taking in blows one would never be able to live from. I can't wait for the next season of Baki to release. But in the meantime, I'll catch all of you guys in the next video. Peace.